It's just one person that I just refuse to let beat me. I don't care what. I would never let him beat me. And that actually went through my mind too. Like I pulled my quad about 65 meters in the race, and I was like, I don't care.
I remember.
This gonna come off. I'm gonna hobble my leg all the way through. And I ran 980 then. I was like, God, dog. I wonder what that time would have been. I wonder what that time would have been.
Aha! Now, if only there were some sort of internet autists out there that wondered that and then would do something about it. Well, you're in luck because I am that autist, and this is the race. This was Edmonton, and we can watch Mo Greene now defeating his arch nemesis, Tim Montgomery. And there it is, and we're going to take a close look and see how that leg held up. So first we can set this chart in some context. This is the magic chart of careers for mostly people who've run under 10 seconds, up 10.1. Let's find Maurice. There he is, the second man ever to run under 9.8 seconds, but the world record holder because Ben Johnson was obviously disqualified. So he ran his 9.79 in Athens, 16th of June 1999. He's obviously in great form because look at that. Just a couple of months later, he runs a 9.8 in Seville. That might be an interesting race. But the race we're looking at today is the one-legged 9.82 in Edmonton, which was the World Championship final. So I thought we can step through this in various ways, and one thing we might want to do is look at the step count of this race, which as we just saw is his third ever fastest time, 9.82, and compare it with his very best race when he set the world record 9.79 just a couple of years earlier. So here is the 9.79 step count. Now, I'm very aware that my sophisticated audience knows that step count are not the be-all and end-all, but if you've got a bum leg, 45.5. So now let's go and take a look at what it was for this one and see if we can compare the two. So here on the left, you've got the one-legged wonder, and on the right, the 9.79 we just looked at. We can compare the step counts in slow motion. Now, of course, back in those days, due to the time of the late 90s and the early 2000s when this was filmed, light didn't work so well at high speed. It was only later that we could actually see people not getting blurry when they were running fast, giving the appearance of greater speed in the old days, of course. But in fact, it was rumoured that Ben Johnson couldn't even be seen at the 60-metre point. But here we go. We've got them coming in. 45.5 we know is on the right, and it was also 45.5 on the left. So what I can do is run this slowly towards the end and just show you there. So I'm looking, if I look on the left of the screen, you can see he's got a lovely stride, and he strides across about 45.5. And then on the right, the same thing. I think his left foot, I do get the impression it's very, very blurry. Filmed on a potato, which was about $3,000 at the time. I do think he was ahead. On the 9.79, but I mean, it's incredibly close. So it's not really the case that the leg injury really affected his ability on the step count. Now, he said in the interview that the leg went at the 65-metre mark, and that was something that was missed by the Australian commentators who thought the leg had just gone at the end. It's not surprising. Things happen so fast. Also, Australians, they're tough people. They wouldn't recognise a hanging off quad. They wouldn't even feel it. So here we go. So we know that 65 metres. Let's think about that. He would be, what would we say, at about the 7-second mark there or thereabouts. He's got 35 meters left. He's going at about 0.85, you could say, per 10 meters. So 7, 7.8, 8.6, 9. Yeah, so let's call it about the 7-second mark. And I know the clock was not bad on the left. It wasn't bad in terms of being roughly time. I'd go that 7.1. So this is where Mo Greene on the left there is suspecting that he suffered the injury. Let's see if we can compare any changes. Anything different? I mean, I've seen this a million times now, so I actually do notice a difference, but I don't think that's going to show for you, so I'm going to try something else. So the great news with this race is we have a couple of other angles, and we can actually get a pretty good look at things. And because of the step count, we can work out where we are in the race with each of these angles. So this is the two angles that we've had, and we'll take a nice close look at these. Definitely he's in pain there, you can see. You can see that. Now I can actually wind this back. We can take a close look at it. So Mo Greene said that he hurt himself at about the 65 meter mark, which we can estimate is somewhere around here. And we're going to take the 34th step. So Mo Greene takes his first step with his left foot, and so the right foot is an even number. So here, the 34th step, 7.2 seconds there. This is when the leg roughly went. And as we saw this view, there's not too much to see. He's definitely limping. He's definitely limping somewhere around here. You can sort of see the gait going as Montgomery catches up. But now we've got this other view that we can take a look at. We've got these new views here. So if we wind it forward to these new views and we let that run out and we get to that mid-30s. So, okay, right leg down is 34. So this is the 34th step. There's Montgomery. That's Atto Bolden. Face is grimacing, we think. See, now there's a hitch in the leg. There's a hitch in the gait, rather. But we have one more view, so we can take another view of this. So here, 34th. The 34th step is there. That's all we had. Left leg, 35. 36. Now you see, look, now watch here, watch his face. So you see, look at that. He suddenly grimaces there. He's taken his 36th step. So let's take a close look now. Running, cheeks are blowing, and you see there. On the 36th step, now it's his left leg that goes. Going along that, so that was the 35th down, 36th, and as he's coming through, he's grimacing. So it's the left leg that goes. And so he's really grimacing here. Now, look at that. Look at that. I wonder if I can zoom that in. So let's look at his face. And he's starting to wobble, side to side form. And you can see at the end he's really limping. I think we catch the moment best in this one. I think it is on his 35th step there. that he hurts himself. It's the left leg that goes, the left quad. 36, and he's pulling. He's about to put the foot down. So he's put the foot down there. He's powered off his right leg, and he's really grimacing there. Wow, that looks painful. And now, let's see this. See how the head. See how the head starts to go. He's rolling a bit. And he limps the last. He really does limp the last ones. So there we go. And there's Tim Montgomery over there. The nemesis. And Tim Montgomery really, at the end of his career, did say, after the scandal, he said that Greene got in his head. So there we go. I think we can say with some certainty then that the leg started to fail him here on the 36th step. So now what we can do is go back and take a look at, if that's the 36th step, he's got 9 more steps to go. And we can go back and take a look at that. So let's do that here and compare it to his 979 with the step count. So, okay, so right around here is where the injury occurs. So the question is, how would this time have been? How would this time have been? Well, he's on that 35th, 36th step foot down, 7.7 seconds is the clock. And it runs till he crosses the line. That clock goes to 9.7. 9.7. So the clock then, obviously it finishes, this one is 9.82. So you could say that, the clock is estimating a tenth or so away. So he's got this bum leg now from the 36th step. He's got 2 seconds left of running, and he takes 9.5 steps more. So he takes 9.5 steps more. 9.5 steps out of 45 steps. So, as is inevitably the case, I go deeper and deeper into these things, and I managed to find the split times for each of these races. So we've got the 1999 world record of 9.79, the World Championship at Seville, 9.8, and where Bruni Surin runs 9.84. So presumably in this handy link up here, I might be able to find that as well in regards to the split times and add that to my split time data. And we've got the race in question, the one-legged wonder, this one here. And immediately we can see that his split times are considerably worse over the last 20 meters. So from the 80 to 90 and the 90 to 100, he is considerably slower than he was at either Athens and Seville. He's also into a slight headwind here. So the one-legged wonder race, now we said that the 36th step is where things really started to go wrong. Now in the interview, of course, he claimed 65, so he maybe was feeling something, but it doesn't really show in these split times. But he knew something was going wrong. He's having the performance of his life here. The start is significantly better than Seville, where he ran 9.8. That at the time was the second fastest run ever. So he has a tremendous start. Then he's basically parity with the other two performances here. He's better, even than his world record there, I mean, this got to be questionable. 8.8, 8.8, 8.3, maybe. I wonder. And then he is still better through the 60 meter mark. Now, I've done the steps over here. So I've estimated roughly that 8 steps is roughly to the 10 meter mark. And then very crudely estimated, I've taken the, this should be 45.5. I've taken the 45.5 and we estimate how many steps are now in each 10 meter segment. And let's do that. Okay, so now we have it. So here we can see that the 36th step is happening at nearly the 80 meter mark. It's probably maybe the 78 meter mark, something like that. So here we're at the 78 meter mark. That's when it goes wrong. And now let's look at the split times. The split times, he's ahead at the 70. At the 80, he's level, so nothing really discernible compared to his previous 2 performances. 80 to 90, he's really, you can see the leg has gone. The leg has gone. So from 78 meters, so 80 to 90, 90 to 100. This is 90 to 100. This is 80 to 90, when we really see the difference. And we believe the leg, because of the step, because of that step, I believe the leg went at 78 or 79 meters. That's when he really felt it. He probably was feeling it before. And so now we have our answer. How fast would it have been? Maurice Greene, if you ever see this video, I believe that roughly estimated, being pushed by your arch nemesis, Tim Montgomery, I believe you would have run 9 point... I'm going to actually, because you're being pushed by Montgomery, 85, 85, 85, I think that's fair. That's the minimum there, and the minimum in your 979. I'm going to go ahead and give you a 0.84 fueled by your passionate dislike of Montgomery. And so we have now our answer. Our answer is, Maurice Greene, you would have run 9.70 seconds. And you would have smashed apart anything that had gone before. And that time there, so this was in 2001, and the next time that even gets a look is in the 9.7s. In the mid-low 9.7s, you have Asif Powell coming on, you've got Justin Gatlin coming on, Tyson Gay and Johan Blake. But essentially the next time that gets beaten, the 9.69, is the Olympic Games in 2008. So it would have put you 7 years ahead of your time. So 9.7 seconds, 7 years ahead of your time. And you really prove yourself. Now, an interesting thing, of course, is that you don't this is the true peak of your career, because I noticed as I was doing the competition between you and Tim, it's very hard to get complete data down the end of Tim's career because the records all get scrubbed and it's very difficult. It's not in the database. But what I noticed is, of course, you win the World Champions in 1999. You get the world record in 1999. You were great. Your best performances were always saved for the big events. The Olympics, when you ran 987 on an adjusted basis, that was a 985, by the way, meaning adjusting for altitude and wind. And then we get the one-legged Marvel, which I really believe could have been a 9.7. But then in January 2002, you get into a crash and break your leg and then carry yourself to your own, to the hospital on your own. And that really marked the peak of your career. After that, you're still world class, but you're not reaching these heights. So I think you were 27 there, you're at the peak of your sprinting, you have this crash, and obviously this would have infuriated you at the time, to Montgomery 9.78, although that does get marked down to a 9.87 with the tailwind. So in fact, Montgomery was being pulled along from you in that one-legged race. Look at that 9.86. And I think that may have been Montgomery's peak before, of course, there's maybe some missing data I have. And yeah, so there we go. Mo Greene, the answer is 9.7 seconds. Congratulations. And I hope everyone enjoyed that. Thank you.